Welcome back. In this video I'm going to be talking about solar cycles. This is actually a talk I recently presented at the Sunshine Coast Astrology group. So for today's agenda I'm going to be talking about cardinal ingresses and seasons, house ingress dates, and the transiting sun house meanings. So first of all we're going to be looking at the sun. So the sun's complex shows your natural vitality within a chart. And really there is no downside to a solar transit. The sun, as it is transiting, it spotlights each area of life in turn, and that means each of your houses. And the sun transits and vitalizes each planet in turn as it comes across them. Now, there are several things that happen when the transiting sun comes through your chart. Life is good. You feel uplifted, confident and happy as the sun beams life, warmth and light into all situations. So it's important to follow the transiting sun. Although the transiting sun is not the first planet you would learn with transits, it's the first way for very beginner astrologers to start tracking what's happening and why there are shifts and changes. And as the sun is moving through your chart, you can see it going through your houses and contacting your planets. Let's have a look at some cardinal ingresses. So an ingress definition is when a planet enters a sign or a house, it is known to ingress. Now a cardinal ingress is when a planet enters a cardinal sign, and the four cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn. And if we look at the natural wheel, we can see that the sun would typically enter Aries on March the 21st. It would enter Cancer on June the 21st, Libra on September the 21st, and Capricorn on December the 21st. Now, these dates can change the day before, the day after each year. Not each year is exactly on the 21st, but in general, that is the date that the sun enters each of the four cardinal signs. So if we just have a closer look at the actual Cancer ingress for 2024 as an example, the sun will enter Cancer. So there's the sun at 0 degrees Cancer, 0, 0. And it actually entered Cancer at 1:52 p.m. on Thursday, June the 20th, 2024. So it wasn't June the 21st. Now, of course, this is set for Sechelt, which is in Canada. And depending where you are, the sun may enter the day before or the day after. It all depends. This is when summer begins. As the sun enters Cancer, summer begins. Spring ends and summer begins. So if we look at the seasons, this is the Northern Hemisphere. If we look at the four seasons, we have spring, summer, autumn and winter, and the seasons begin as the sun enters a cardinal sign. Now, if you cast your mind back to your dusty geography classes, in general, the Earth's tilt is around 23.5 degrees. So we know we have the equator, and then we have the Tropic of Cancer. Now, that is 23.5 degrees above the equator. That's the Tropic of Cancer when the sun enters Cancer. And then below we have the Tropic of Capricorn when the sun enters Capricorn. And by the way, I used to live here in a small town called Palabora, right on the Tropic of Capricorn. Now we can take those lines across the globe and spread them out across the sky, and we will end up with the celestial equator, which is the extrapolation of the Earth's equator onto the star background. So above we will then have the Tropic of Cancer at 23.5 degrees, and below we've got the Tropic of Capricorn. So what's actually happening with the sun as it's moving through the year? So it will start on March the 21st from the celestial equator and move up to when it actually makes its change in June the 21st. Now that green line is an indication there of the sun's path. From June 21st to around September the 21st, the sun then moves back down towards the equator. So this is where the sun is overhead on the Earth. After that, it will go down below towards the Tropic of Capricorn, which it will reach on December the 21st, and then finally again it will move back up towards the equator, the celestial equator, and start the cycle again on March 21st. So this is the annual path the sun makes when it is directly overhead on the globe that we just saw. So if you live between these two tropics, you will experience the sun directly overhead. For those of us, such as myself, living in Vancouver, we never get the sun overhead. It is always at an angle coming in. So we can now take this whole year's sine wave of the sun, and we can actually split it into the 12 signs. So there we have, on the green line, we have Aries, Taurus, Gemini, then Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius, and Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So here we have your first quarter is spring, then it is summer, then it is autumn, and then it is winter. And again, this is Northern Hemisphere. This is another way of actually depicting it. This was the actual handout I gave out at this meeting, where you can actually write your planets within these signs, and then you will realize that when the sun comes through, it's at the same time every year. So just going back to our seasons, we have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So this is the whole year divided, and each season starts at the cardinal signs. So the spring season has Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, which are cardinal, fixed, and mutable. The summer season has Cancer, which is cardinal, Leo fixed, and Virgo mutable. So again, we have the same pattern of mode, cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And it's the same for autumn, where we have Libra cardinal, Scorpio fixed, Sagittarius mutable. And then winter is Capricorn cardinal, Aquarius fixed, and Pisces mutable. So each season starts with a cardinal, has fixed in the middle, and mutable at the end. And you will note that each season does not have all the elements, such as winter's got earth, air, and water, so it has no fire. That's just the nature of the spread. But what we're saying here is that the seasons begin as the sun enters a cardinal sign, and then it is followed by a fixed sign, and then by a mutable sign. I do have a solar tracker handout, which I handed out at the actual meeting, titled, of course, Solar Cycles, and the idea is you put your name there. So this is a colour and cover page. You can get that also in one of my freebies page. So if you want a copy of this handout that I gave, you go to my freebies page and you'll find it there. So let's have a look at the transiting solar dates. So the solar transit dates will be the same, give or take one day, every single year. And these days may be the day before or the day after, and they do reset as per the cardinal ingress dates. And really this is to do with, we've got 3 years where it slightly slips, and then at leap year it's reset. But in general, the sun will transit at the same point on the same day every year. So my first question to you then is, what is the degree and sign of your ascendant? I do have an example chart here. This is the writer Margaret Atwood, and this is her chart. So the question we're asking is, what is the degree and sign of her ascendant? So her ascendant is 6 degrees 39 Gemini. Now our second question is, what date is the sun at this ascendant position? So you would go over to your ephemeris. We know her ascendant is at 6 degrees 39 Gemini. So we're in the ephemeris, we're looking for the sun's column. We want to find the page when the sun is in Gemini, which happens to be in May. It could be any year. So our question was what date the sun is at the ascendant position. So we go down the column to find the actual ascendant position of 6 degrees, 39. So on the 6 degrees 12 there, circle there in the red. And then we find that this is the 27th of May. So what we're saying here is that on the 27th of May every year, give or take one day, the sun will be on Margaret Atwood's ascendant. That's what you're looking for. So our question is, what date is the sun at your ascendant position? So you've got a bit of time now. You can pause the video and go and work that out. And if you have the handout, you can actually enter it on the handout sheet. Because what we're trying to determine is that every year the sun is at a particular place in your chart, and it's different for you as it is for me. And this is what we're trying to understand, that the sun is going to be moving through the houses. It's going to enter the different houses, not just the ascendant, but the second, third, and fourth house. It will enter those too. Now I'm just going to give you some ideas on the transiting sun going through the houses and what you could anticipate as the sun is passing through your houses. So when the sun enters the first house, the spotlight is on you as an individual, yourself, your vitality, your image, self-confidence, and what you want in life. When the sun enters the second house, the spotlight is on your possessions, your assets, what you have, and what you have to give. When the sun enters the third house, the spotlight is on your siblings, cousins, local neighborhood, teachers, weekend getaways, and short self-improvement courses. As the sun enters the fourth house, the spotlight is on your home, living space, your family, where you come from, and your parents. As the sun enters the fifth house, the spotlight is on your inner child, creativity, appetite for risk, children, love, and romantic affairs. As the sun enters your sixth house, the spotlight is on your day-to-day routines, rituals, work, workmates, exercise, diet, and health. As the sun enters your seventh house, the spotlight is on serious partnerships, marriage, business relationships, and putting others before yourself. When the sun enters the eighth house, the spotlight is on your intimate life, your private life, others' resources, what and to whom you owe time or money. As the sun enters your ninth house, the spotlight is on your life path, higher education, religion, breadth of vision, international travel, and your personal philosophy. As the sun enters your 10th house, the spotlight is on your place in the world, your reputation, career, your name, and how you make your mark. As the sun enters the 11th house, the spotlight is on collaborations, friends, associates, you as a team player, and your social conscious. Then as the sun enters your 12th house, the spotlight is on rest and recuperation, simple living, personal inner work, quiet self-care, and prayer. So that is the sun going through all the 12 houses. Now you can extend yourself, because not only are we concerned about when is the sun going through your houses, well, how about when the sun makes natal conjunctions? So to extend yourself, you can then find the dates the sun will conjoin all of your planets, because it will be the same day every year, give or take one day, that the sun is, say, conjoined your Saturn, conjoined your Neptune, and so on. And those dates can also be recorded and in your diary, because it's happening the same day every single year. So if you've got iCalendar or something, you can put these dates in. Let's take it one step further. Let's extend yourself further and decide to find all the sun to natal, all the aspects. So not just the conjunctions which you've just done. Now you can find the dates when the sun will make all the aspects, which are the opposition, the trine, the square, and the sextile. Those are the Ptolemaic. I wouldn't go further than that. But you can find the day every single year when the sun is opposition your Mars. It's the same day every year. And you can start tracking how your life is unfolding as the sun is coming through by transit. So, thank you for watching this far. If you'd like more information, you can subscribe to the Starzologer, which is my astrology newsletter. It goes out every Sunday to over 1,200 aspiring astrologers. You can sign up to get the Starzologer at starzology.com/newsletter. I'm Alison Price. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.